Welcome back to Original Gravity. Today I've got a annual release with the caveat that actually last year it was not brewed because of a brewery accident. This is Lagunitas Brown Shugga Ale. It is a American strong ale, which is basically a catch-all category for like, this is really high alcohol, but it's not like an IPA, it's not a barley wine yet. So it's kind of in this strange realm of strong beer that doesn't really have a category. So we'll try to get to the bottom of this today. This is my first year experience with this. Like I said, last year they brewed a substitute for it, which was actually really good too, just kind of different. This one pours like an extremely clear, like golden, so it's actually very filtered, but it's got a tight head to it. I mean, I'm pouring it into kind of the kind of glass that opens that up, but it's like a milky white, dense head with a lot of bubbles rising. I mean, very, very active. Now this one, it's called brown sugar, so as you would expect, there is brown sugar added to, which is something that will increase the alcohol of the beer, which is probably what the point is. I mean, and also it does add a little bit of sweetness to this. I have had a couple bottles already, so. On the nose, there's the typical Lagunitas, extremely hoppy, piney, pine resin, grapefruit, mango, orange kind of, fresh hop thing. But on the tongue, it's very different. There's a slick. The alcohol is present, but it's not getting in the way. It's not a problem. It just feels you definitely get that thickness to it that really brings out like a sweetness, and it does bring out the hops on the tongue. I mean, carbonation is good. It's about medium. It's about medium bodied too. So like it's gold, but it's not a light beer, and it's not a really dark beer either. So it's sweet, but it's not overwhelmingly sweet. And I think probably the hops balance this out. I mean, it is apparently 51 IBUs, so that's right in the middle kind of range of what we can detect, 0 being nothing and like 100 being ridiculous. So there is like a nice hop balance, and as I'm drinking, I'm getting good lacing. This is deceptively drinkable. This is one of those big beers that comes in 6-packs, for some reason, where it would probably be more, you'd be more apt to be careful with it if it were in a bigger bottle, alone. But, as a 6-pack, it does work. And you'll be drinking this, and eventually you'll start to feel it, obviously. But it comes on very slow with this one. I think it's probably the brown sugar that does that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's good stuff. Lagunitas brews a lot of beers like this, I want to say. Most of them aren't this strong. Hop Stupid is probably the one that comes closest to this in terms of strength. But, I gotta hand it to them. They know what they're doing with hops, and they know what they're doing with malt. They just make great beer consistently, and people look forward to this every year, which is why it was a disappointment last year that they didn't have it. So, as my first time with this, I'm gonna say that this is like a must-buy. Like every year, I'll probably get this just to see if it's any different. This would probably be a good candidate for aging, even though it is a very hoppy ale. I think this would get pretty interesting with a year or two on it, just sitting around in a garage or a cellar. So, cheers to great beer. Thanks for joining me on Original Gravity.